welcome to part 2. If this is your first time watching my video, make sure you go back and go to my previous video because this is part 2 of how I got caught ditching. You're gonna want to hear the first part of the video. Okay, so before we get into the video, I totally forgot to say how we got from the house to the Mac. After we were done getting yelled at, the cops asked us to get in a straight line with our hands behind our back, and they made us walk in a straight line. Let me tell you, at this point I was irritated AF because I had people saying that it was my fault why we got caught. It was just like, yo, I got people blaming me. Now you want me to walk in a straight line with my hands behind my back like if I'm in kindergarten? Bruh, no. And then we arrived at the Mac. So that's what I'm gonna be telling you guys today. In the high school back then, they used to have like this classroom and it had a big window, and then a teacher or someone would stand on one side, and then there was like a bunch of desks on the other side, and they would literally just stand there and watch everyone who was in that room. So when we got there, before they gave us our assignments, because they would check what class you were failing and then they'd hand you that book, so and then they'd make you do book work. We were there, the cop wrote out the tickets. Let me tell you, the cop was being really fucking annoying. I don't remember what happened to Jack and Jill, but they didn't stay with us. And then this other guy, I don't know what he was making comments about. Back then the guys would use like skinny ass jeans, and then the cop had called him like duck feet because, like, you know, their jeans were super tight, and then like his Vans, like, obviously it's gonna look like he had big ass feet because his pants were so tight. And then he said something back and they took him. They didn't even handcuff him. They put him in zip ties and they took him. I don't know where they took him. I don't remember. I do know where they took him, but I don't remember. So we were all like, oh shit. They wrote our tickets, whatever, and then they handed us our books, had us doing work. We were all sitting down. I wasn't there for a long time, so if my parents wouldn't have gone to pick me up, then I would have just like left when the bell rang. Mind you that we got caught really early in the morning. It was probably not even second period yet when we got caught. But I don't remember at what time my mom picked me up, but my mom picked me up. And when we were in that classroom, before my mom picked me up, they had picked me to go grab lunch with one of the teachers that was there. So we went out, whatever. So it was like the cafeteria was on the other side of the campus. So we went from the back all the way to the front or whatever. And so they picked me. I don't know why they picked me, but they picked me to go grab lunch. So I went to grab lunch with them. The teacher, I don't remember like who she was, but we went to go grab lunch. And then while we were walking over there, I had asked her like, oh, you know, did you guys call our parents? And then she told us that yeah, they had called our parents. And then I was over here asking all these questions. I think she's the one that called my mom. So then I was like, did my mom sound mad? And she was like, no, like your mom didn't sound mad. But then, you know, so at that moment I was like, oh yes, my mom's not mad. But my mom's the type of person that doesn't like people knowing her business. So I'm pretty sure she was like, oh okay, like didn't sound mad at all. I wasn't scared like at all. I don't remember being scared of like getting caught or getting a ticket or being in the Mac or anything. I was just scared of coming home and getting my ass beat. Growing up I didn't get hit, so in my head I was like, well, I never got hit. This is a day. Today is the day I'm gonna get my ass beat. My mom shows up and my best friend was sitting a few seats away, and then she turned around. She saw my mom first, and then she was mouthing to me like that my mom was there, and I was like, what? I was confused. I finally figured out what the hell she was telling me, and I turned around and my mom looked pissed. I was just sitting there like, oh great. So they called me up, and then I grabbed my stuff, and then my mom had to sign all this paperwork and saying that she picked me up, and then they handed her my ticket and all that good stuff, right? So then I was just standing there like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to sit in the passenger seat. She's gonna smack me. It's game over. So then she tells the lady that she was gonna take my best friend, and then I was like, yes, like I don't have to go home by myself with this lady, like you're coming with me. So we sat in the back seat, and then I honestly I was scared, but I wasn't scared. I got really scared when she turned around and told me like that I had to tell my dad that I had gotten a ticket because I didn't go to school. And when she told me that, I was like, great. My mom clearly thought it wasn't funny. She was extremely pissed. She did not talk to me. I had court 3 months later, but from when I got caught to when I had court, one time I had came home. My mom would never let me walk. And then one time I had called her, and then I had asked her if I could come home walking, and she said yeah, and I was like, I was shook. I was shooketh. So then I was like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna walk home. So I walked home, whatever. The moment I got home, she showed me like this packet, right? This was probably a week or 2 weeks after I had gotten caught ditching. But she showed me this packet, and in the packet it was my attendance record, and my attendance record looked like crap. so it said like absent, absent, present, 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 absent, absent. Like she was pissed, asking me to explain to her what that was, and I was like, oh, it's my attendance record, like what do you want me to say, you know? She handed me the packet and I was so pissed. Like I burnt the packet in front of her because I was like, get over it, like I already ditched, like I can't go back and go to school, like it happened already, I got caught, I'm not ditching anymore. So then that happened, and then she would call my school every day, and then every period, literally. So she would call every single day at the beginning of every single period. And I knew that she was calling because literally teachers weren't pretty slick. Like they'd answer the phone like, oh, like C5, and then they'll look straight at me and they'll be like, yeah, she's here, and they'll hang up. So I already knew that my mom was calling, or that the attendance office was checking if I was there, but I never said anything until I graduated high school. But I was just like, great, like this lady's crazy. She would fast forward, went to court. My mom had to come with me obviously because I was underage. I remember the judge had said like the price of her ticket, and then so my ticket was $220, and then she had said make your kids do chores and pay them $1 for it so then they can save up the money. Like don't pay the ticket for them, like make them work for the money so they can pay for it. They want to be ditching school. And I was like, great. We came home, my dad had asked me how court was, and I was like, oh, it was good, you know, like my ticket is $220. And a few days later, maybe 2, my dad had given me the money for the ticket, and he was like, here, like don't say anything, right? I saved the money that he gave me because my mom was making me do chores. Not only that, my dad would give me an allowance every Sunday, and when he would give me the allowance, my mom would be like, you have a ticket to pay, and she'll take my allowance from me. But I was like, girl, little do you know that I have all this money saved for the ticket. But obviously I couldn't be like, oh, here, I have the money, let's go pay it. I finally like got all the money for my ticket, whatever, and then we went to go pay it, and my mom was like, I hope you learned your lesson, don't ditch again. I had learned my lesson the day that they had given me the ticket. And then when I graduated high school, I was like, Mom, so I have a secret to tell you. And then she was like, what? And I was like, remember when I got caught ditching? And she's like, yeah, how do you think, like, how do you want me to forget? And I was like, well, you know the time that like we came back from court, and my dad had asked me like how the court was, and I had told him that it was like whatever, and then he had asked me how much my ticket was, and I had told him the price, and then he gave me the money. So I had the money all along. So all the time you would take my money and pay me $1 for chores, like I had the money sitting there, but you know, I had to pretend like I didn't have the money. And then my mom gave my dad the dirtiest look. After high school, I was gonna go to New York in July. So I graduated in June, and in July I was gonna go to New York. So I needed an ID because I didn't have an ID, like a California ID. We went to the DMV, and then the lady at the DMV was helping us, and then she like was kind of stuck, and then she looked confused, right? And then she had asked me like, oh, Alejandra, like have you gotten a ticket before? And I was like, no. I literally forgot about the damn ticket. This was 3 years later, right? Then she was like scrolling, and then she was like, it's popping up that you got a ticket. Literally my mom was standing there like this, just staring at me because I kept saying no, right? My mom had asked me like, are you sure you didn't get a ticket? And I was like, oh, I did get a ticket. Yeah, I think that's one of the times where I was like, oh, I'm a dumbass, but it's funny. Obviously everyone does things in their high school life that they regret, that they don't regret. Let me tell you that I had the time of my life my freshman year, and it was great. That's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you haven't subscribed, make sure you guys subscribe so you guys can hear more of my stories, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye. So it's 3 in the morning, and I should probably go to sleep.